Welcome to my second Elden Ring lore video. On the previous one, we discussed the DLC story trailer and touched a few topics I'd like to fully dive into on this one. Namely, Melina not being Marika's daughter, and therefore not being Miquella, and also the Gloam-Eyed Queen being enemies with Marika. On this video, I won't be talking much about Miquella to try and prove that he isn't Melina. There's already plenty of videos about Miquella, not everything has to be about him. And contrary to what some people in this community seem to think, not everyone you don't know anything about is Miquella. Instead, I'll focus on talking about Melina and the Gloam-Eyed Queen. If you think Melina is Miquella, by the end of this video, I'll have you thinking about stuff that you won't ever be able to see the same way ever again. So stick around and enjoy. To try and make it easier to understand in the future, when I reference some events, theories, and facts, we should lay some foundations first. In the Blade of Calling's item description, the blade Melina wields, we can read, "Dagger given to one who set out on a journey to fulfill her duty long ago. The power of its former owner, the Kindling Maiden, is still apparent. The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death." Compare this to what Melina says. "I'm searching for my purpose, given to me by my mother inside the earth tree long ago. Dagger given to one set out on a journey to fulfill her duty long ago." There's also a moment where Melina says, "I shall see to the kindling." It is a purpose which I choose to fulfill. Also, we all know when the Tarnished gets to the Forge of the Giants, Melina transforms into fire, sets the earth tree ablaze, and says what we just read. "The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death." So there's no denying Melina is the Kindling Maiden. Now that's settled, let's lay the next bricks for the foundations of this video. If you follow the Frenzied Flame ending, by the time you finish the game, you see a lady with slightly discolored hair, a purple left eye, and a golden discolored right one. Gold or yellow being a color commonly associated with light, and gloam being a noun referring to a time of day where the light gets softer, just like this lady's gloam golden right eye. The Gloam-Eyed Queen is the wielder of the power of death. The God Slayer's greatsword description reads, "Sacred sword of the Gloam-Eyed Queen who controlled the Godskin apostles before her defeat at the hands of Malekith." This weapon's echevoir creates black flame. Now, what is black flame? The Scouring Black Flame's incantation description reads, "The black flame could once slay gods, but when Malekith sealed destined death, the true power of the black flame was lost. So the moment the rune of death was removed from the Elden Ring, aka the moment Malekith sealed it in his sword, black flame lost its power, the power of death, the Gloam-Eyed Queen's power. So it's more than established that the Gloam-Eyed Queen is the wielder of the power of death, the black flame, or at least was, and that Melina is the Kindling Maiden. We can now start getting into what matters. Why do I believe Melina and the Gloam-Eyed Queen are the same? Well, let's start by stating the obvious. When you inherit the Flame of Frenzy, Melina tells you, "Should you arise as the Lord of Chaos, I will kill you, as sure as night follows day." And if you follow the Frenzied Flame ending, you offer yourself up as Kindling in place of Melina, allowing her to still be alive by the time you finish the game. By this time, you'll see someone that looks almost exactly like Melina, basically letting you know she's coming to kill you. This is the lady we just established was the Gloam-Eyed Queen. She looks 99% like Melina. There's room for some plausible deniability in the fact that this person does not look 100% like her, but it's pretty much being in denial if you think this isn't Melina, because they wear the same clothes, they have the same face, they have the same mark on their left eye, they have the same burn marks on their hands, they have the same voice and speak the same way. The only differences are that this lady's hair is slightly discolored and both her eyes are open, the left one being purple and the right one being a grayed out gold, whereas Melina has a bright golden one. They look like the same because they are the same. That was easy to figure out, but maybe too easy. I understand that's not enough because From Software and George really enjoy playing with our hats. So let's go a little deeper. From one of Melina's dialogues, you see both her and the Gloam-Eyed Queen advocate for the importance of death. Melina states, "This world is in dire need of repair, and death indiscriminate." Melina's purpose as the Kindling Maiden is to bring about the end of each age by serving as kindling. She is the death of each age and its corresponding earth tree. What do I mean by its corresponding earth tree? We'll get into that later. While the Gloam-Eyed Queen's purpose is to make sure no one, not even the gods, get away from death. Death is like a requirement for all life to function properly. The moment gods abuse their power to circumvent that, problems start to arise. You just have to look at the state of the lands between. But that will be a whole other video about the philosophy of life and death, so let's leave it at that for now. So we can see that thematically, both the Gloam-Eyed Queen and the Kindling Maiden share a similar purpose: to end things. Everything needs to end. But all of this is very philosophical, so let's stick to factual arguments. Let's talk about the mark on their eye. As mentioned before, Malekith defeated the Gloam-Eyed Queen. But we already established that she is very much alive in GEQ, as she appears to us in the Frenzied Flame ending. How can that be if she was defeated? Well, just because she was defeated doesn't mean she was killed or erased from existence. I believe this defeat came in the form of her power being taken away. Just like I've already said, the Scouring Black Flames incantation description reads that the Rune of Death was removed from the Elden Ring and that Malekith sealed it in his sword. But did you notice during his fight he removes this sword from a magical seal on his left hand? Keep that in mind. Again, the moment the Black Flame lost its power, so did the Gloam-Eyed Queen, and in doing this, Malekith left his mark on Melina's, aka Gloam-Eyed Queen's, left eye. It's right under our noses that this mark is the doing of Malekith. Another sign of this is that at one point it gives us the claw mark seal. You can see the seal is marked with the scratch of 3 claws. Now look at the mark on Melina's eye and tell me that is not a beast's hand with 3 claws. But the Gloam-Eyed Queen's mark is faint, whereas Melina's one is clear. Why is that? That's pretty simple. The mark on Melina's left eye started fading away the moment we defeated Malekith. Maybe because he broke the seal on his left hand, or maybe because we released the Rune of Death after the fight, allowing Melina to reacquire her long-lost power, and bringing back her Gloam-Eyed Queen persona. As to why Malekith fought Melina, I believe Marika wanted to make sure the power of death wouldn't be used against her or her offspring. In my previous video, I theorized that the Gloam-Eyed Queen and Marika didn't see eye to eye about the whole removing the Rune of Death out of the Elden Ring thing, the Gloam-Eyed Queen being such a death enjoyer and all, and this brought about a war between them. I recommend you watch that video too, as I get into some crazy theories like Marika sacrificing her demigod children with the help of the Gloam-Eyed Queen before betraying her. My favorite line from Melina is, "Only a little further till the foot of the earth tree, and the accord is fulfilled. It takes me back. I was born at the foot of the earth tree, where Mother gave me my purpose." There's so much to unpack in this alone. To start, by the way she says it, it's implied that the foot of the earth tree, to which we are getting closer to, and the foot of the earth tree she was born at are the same location. But is it guaranteed that they're the same earth tree? She clearly has her memory scrambled. She continues, "Though now everything is lost to me. I have to ascertain for myself the reason for which I live, burned and bodiless." When we get to Leyndell, we see, from the fact that the city is full of ashes, that there was already an earth tree burning before. I recommend you watch Tarnished Archaeologist's video about that. So if Melina has already burned at least one earth tree in this same place before, it's not possible for her to have been born at the foot of this one, because this one could only come to existence after the previous one in its place was burned. Unless we theorize that when she says she was born at the foot of the earth tree, she was in fact reborn, but isn't aware. In that scenario, she could be referring to this earth tree indeed, and still wouldn't contradict the fact that she wasn't really born at the foot of this earth tree in specific. She just isn't aware. She also keeps talking about her mother throughout the game, but never really states who her mother actually is. And because she's the one who conveys to us the words of Queen Marika several times, we've been intentionally conditioned to assume that's Marika. Mainly because most of us only knew about one Earth tree, the one towering over us the entire time, by the time we heard her say this. But Marika isn't Melina's mother, and that's why she never says it is. I believe it's an intentional misleading. Another question I want you to ask yourself is, why would Marika create the Kindling Maiden? Someone that threatens her order. We know from finger reader Enya that the first thing Marika did after becoming the god of the lands between was removing destined death from the Elden Ring, thus creating her golden order. So she had plans to stay there for a very long time. Forever. By doing this, death stopped working properly and Marika, through Malekith, was the only one with access to its power. Some people, me included, may ask, how then are we able to kill demigods before retrieving the Rune of Death from Malekith? And Reddit user Cowdog Gaming proposes a good explanation. When you kill a demigod, you get a remembrance. That's their spirit returning to the Earth Tree. Their body has died and won't be seen again until the next age, or however long it takes to reincarnate. But their spirit is not technically dead. Really, this is just a bunch of mental gymnastics to explain a game mechanic. Going back to the question, if Marika planned to rule forever, why would she create the Kindling Maiden, who we have established to be the Gloam-Eyed Queen as well already? Someone whose purpose is to bring about the end of gods and ages. Someone with the power to bring her order to an end. It wouldn't make sense, and from this line of reasoning, I think it's safe to assume Marika is not who created Melina. And I even go as far as to state that Melina is an enemy to Marika's Golden Order. Her purpose is to burn the Earth Tree at the end of each age and allow a new Elden Lord in. Remember at the start of the game when Melina says, one of their kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring, even if it does violate the Golden Order. So I'd say that Melina's purpose is in direct opposition to Marika. Still, to be fair, if you summon Melina to fight the Omen King, you can see that she fights like the Black Knife assassins. And also, as mentioned in my previous video, her dagger is very similar to the assassin's Black Knife. And from their armor's description, you see that they are Newman, from the same stock as Marika. So I'm aware that the Gloam-Eyed Queen and Marika are related somehow, just not as mother and daughter. Also, as a footnote, if we accept that Marika isn't Melina's mother, then Melina being Miquella all goes down the drain as well. I told you I'd make you forget about all of that nonsense. So what do you think? Still think Miquella is Melina? Are the Gloam-Eyed Queen and Marika enemies? Let me know your theories down in the comments, and if I've made any mistakes, please do correct me. Also, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel to appease the algorithm's other god. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the lands between.